Excellent.
Hey, what's up, folks? Welcome back to another 3D Hangouts. My name is Noah Ruiz. I'm a designer here at Adafruit, and join me every week is my brother Pedro.
Good morning, everybody. Pedro is creative tech here at Adafruit, and every week we're here to share 3D printed projects featuring electronics from Adafruit.
That's right. This show we combine 3D printing and DIY electronics to make inspirational projects. Hello, everybody hanging out in the live chats. We are streaming live on all of the usual social channels. And if you'd like to join us live during the show, we have the Discord, Adafruit's Discord server, the live broadcast chat is we're hanging out. So we'll take a few moments to welcome everybody that's live on the show. Say good morning, Pedro.
Good morning, everybody hanging out all over the chat rooms. As you said before, you want to join in on the Discord. It's over at discord.gg/Adafruit. The burning question everybody wants to know, specifically Johnny Lou from the YouTube chat. Will the Raspberry Pi 4 is for 8 gigabyte or Raspberry Pi 5? When was a Raspberry Pi 5 released? We're on 5 already?
I thought we were on 4. Yeah.
Adafruit.com/new Raspberry Pi. Nope, out of stock.
Yeah.
I would really like a Raspberry Pi 5, though.
Yeah. One can dream. Well, we're going to welcome everyone in the chat. We got Andy Calloway, Do Wester, Cup of Coffee, Yanni, Scoo. Hello, everybody hanging out live. And hello to everybody watching on the archive. We are
on that Discord to get all that banter. Check out where Yanni's been hanging out.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Very snowy.
Oh, dude.
Very snowy. All right. I'm going to go ahead and do the housekeeping that we got in the morning. So here we go. Let's go through adafruit.com/free. You can find out all the free deals that are going on at the Adafruit shop. If you spend $99 or more at the Adafruit shop, you're going to get a free half-size Perma-Proto. For orders that are $149 or more, you'll get a half-size Perma-Proto plus a dev board. That's the KB2040. And then if your order is $200 or more, you'll get the KB2040, the half-size Perma-Proto, and ground shipping from UPS, continental US only. And then if your order is $299 or more, you get the free ground UPS shipping, the KB2040, the half-size Perma-Proto, and a free BBC Microbit V2. Go to adafruit.com/free for all of the details.
Man, that should be a free Raspberry Pi 5.
One day. Next up, we have the jobs board at jobs.adafruit.com. You can see all of the latest job listings that are there if you are in the market for a project, or if you want to get your project worked on by some other folks, you can post up your job or your resumes. We got the latest one here. A field application engineer or an IoT firmware, and that is a remote position in the United States of America. So go check that out. And all the other jobs, free to do so, but heading over to jobs.adafruit.com. And we have a coupon code this week. Coupon code will get you 10% off your order on the Adafruit shop for all physical goods. And it's coupon code Floppy. So check it out. If you want to fill up your carts, get 10% off your total order.
Everybody posting these coffee emojis. Dang it, I already drank all mine. Ugh.
Yeah, I drank all mine by 9 a.m. It's all gone.
Well, that's everybody hanging out. D. Calloway, Do Wester, DJ Devin, Rosin, Cup of Coffee. Your name makes me want more coffee, Yanni.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
And everybody else hanging out all over. Sorry, not on Facebook. For whatever reason, it does not want to connect. Now we got to change the Cody key thingamabob.
All right, well, we have a fun project. Do you want to jump right into it?
This week's project. Check out This week's project is a super cool
This
retro
week's project. Yeah.
with a embedded screen. What?
Yes. Let me hide my screen here. Go over here. All right. This is this week's project. You might have seen it. It's made many rounds on all the social channels. This is a collab project with some team members on the Adafruit team. This was inspired by an idea on Twitter. NanoRaptor, Diana, comes up with a bunch of whimsical computer gadgets, and she had an image of a floppy disk with a screen on it, and that gave Ann Barella, who is a fellow remote team member, the idea to make it real with the Adafruit PyPortal and CircuitPython. I have a real floppy disk here. So this was the inspiration of it. This is a real floppy disk, 3.5-inch version, 1.44 megabytes of just so much data. This this was an actual science report on here, and these are retro cool now. At one point, these were the save icon in the 90s and early 2000s. They're not anymore, though. These days they're like a down arrow. So if you hear people saying like
download,
yeah, all right, like this way it would be download. So the idea was to make a 3D printed case for the PyPortal, and I designed this up in Fusion 360 and took some measurements. I found some CAD models of a real one, and then just kind of tweaked it to match the mounting tabs for the PyPortal. So in Ann's build, she has I think she came up with her own icons. I got the idea to rip some of the icons from the classic Mac OS 9. So I took some of those, and then I have a background image. These are all bitmap images. The CircuitPython display IO has really good support for bitmap images and creating sprite sheets. So that's how these icons are generated here. They're bitmaps, and they're all kind of grouped together in a single bitmap to save on RAM. And they uses the display IO library to display the sprite sheet in the right orders. So Anne had it so that it's sort of a meta thing. Like these are real files on the actual flash drive of the PyPortal, and she wanted to make it so that you can paginate through the different files. So we have a couple of different images, or rather bitmaps, for the various file types. So in the code, she explicitly has folders, documents that are just any other document, and then WAV files, and then I think I said images. So those are like the three. Is it three? No, there are four different types here. You have a folder, a file, an image, and a sound file. And then the background image is just something that I copied and pasted and photoshopped to fit within the 320 by 240 display. And I also thought it'd be neat to have the control strip. If you ever used the Mac OS 9, we used to have this thing called the control strip. What did it do, Pedro? Do you remember what the control strip did?
Yeah, it was quick access to say your volume or your network. If you want to change your network, eject your CD, your favorite for your folder.
Yeah, thank you for that. And you can see a little bit of the Mac face here, that classic Mac background that was default. So that's just an image, but the real things that are dynamic here is the actual files and the file names. The PyPortal has a built-in display. That's what this is, and it's a touch screen. It's resistive touch, not capacitive, so it's by pressure, and you can just paginate through the various files here. So the more files you have, the more pages you're going to have. Little bits of the enclosure, it requires some support material because it has like these areas that just have to be printed with supports. I have 4 screws, 2 over here, and then 2 inside the case. Anne actually had the idea to make these kind of have a square inset so that it looks like much like the floppy drive here. And then the label is supposed to kind of wrap around. And on the back, I didn't put it, but you can have an extra piece here for the door. This is a separate piece here. That's a fake disk kind of spinner. And then I have a nice spot here for the micro SD card. You could probably tweak the code, the CircuitPython code, to have way more files because you can have tons of files on your SD card. You have 8 megabytes of internal flash, so you're kind of limited in terms of that. But hey, that's 8 times more than this, right? So that's still good. And then you know, you have a micro USB. This was before USB-C. The PyPortal predates having all the dev boards with USB-C. And then I added a reset button presser, so you don't have to completely open it. So you can just press that, and you can see the LEDs shine through. And it's CircuitPython. It loads the bitmap, and then takes a second here to load all the bitmaps and reposition them and all that. But there you go. We have this really nice micro USB-C cable that's pink and woven, and the case is 2 halves, so you can open this with your fingernail. And then you can see the different pieces here. This is the back cover, and this is how the PyPortal is mounted to the front cover here. You got 2 built-in standoffs. You got hex nuts over here. And that's pretty much it, really. It's a pretty simple design. You just want to have some support material for this piece, and then the rest of the pieces don't really need supports. But yeah, there's a lot of features on the PyPortal that we're not utilizing. You have all these extra ports here for like the stemma port. It's the bigger stemma, and then you have some digital ports here for extra sensors. There's some built-in sensors. There's a light sensor on the front. There's a built-in NeoPixel. You have, I think, you have a speaker port here. That's a Molex Pico connector. Of course, it's Wi-Fi, so you could pull data from the internet. This is the Wi-Fi, the ESP32 module. And then you have the Atmail SAMD M4 here. So you have that. You have those 2 processors that are pretty nice. Micro SD card slot. What other sensors do you have? I think you have like a temperature sensor or something, maybe. I forget. But it's a fully featured dev board. We call it the all-in-one dev board because it comes with the screen and the touch, you know, resistive touch controller, so you can do touchscreen stuff. So it's supposed to be an IoT, you know, dev board, but in this case, we're just kind of making this fun physical kind of meme. Yeah. So that is the project in a nutshell. This piece right here kind of snap fits into the slot. Whoops, not that way.
Did I glue that on wrong?
No, I don't think you did. You glued it on, right?
It was glued. So, huh? Yeah, mine. Pretty sure you told me just to glue mine on. So
Oh yeah.
move.
Well, you could glue it on if you'd like. It has a little nubbin here that like clips onto the edge. So like you insert it at an angle, and then it kind of stays in place. And then you can slide it left and right.
Falls off.
Really? Well, you know, the tolerances are going to change here and there, but you know what? Maybe I updated the design before I had you print the prototype. Maybe that's what happened.
Gotta be it, because all I did was just hit reprint from the first time.
Oh, okay.
We're testing out the
All
print.
right. Yeah. So I mean, that's the project in a nutshell. Some things I want to share is where I got the icons, because the icons that Anne Barella has in the Learn Guide is different. I don't know if it's like legally kosher to share these. I don't know if they're, you know, copyright. Yeah, they are old, so maybe they're not. But if I bring up my screen here, let me remove
I remember
this
we
one.
had I forgot her name, the maker of the cow dog. We like made a keychain. She was like, "That's cool, but please take it down because Apple still owns the copyright for cow
Right.
dog."
Yeah. So I just searched for macOS icons, and this GitHub repo has all of them as PNGs. They're like transparent. So I was able to grab these and then put them in the Sprite sheet.
Those look
good,
like
right?
9.6 icons.
Yeah. Isn't it 9 something?
9.6. I know the
you know,
exact
there's
point.
Sure. I mean, there's a lot of them that I've never seen. Like this one has like a belt buckle. This one has an ear. Like, what's that about?
That's the
Yeah.
like, not speak. I know the one with the mouth is for the speaking sounds.
Trash cans, fonts. So I guess you could add support for a lot more document types because in the code, you can see all the things. Let me go to the Learn system real quick. I'm not going to go through the whole Learn guide, but I'll just go to some of the highlights to if you want to modify it. Oh, a lot of new guides this week. So down here, this was last week's guide, but we got the video out this week because we had to kind of do it. A little bit of explanation of what it is. Here in the CircuitPython code, you can just grab the project bundle. There's a lot of libraries that you need. Bitmap, font, the shapes, the text, the image load, so you can load bitmap images. Here in the code, you can see some of the icon positions are laid out here. And then here are the different file types: a blank file, a regular file, a directory, a bitmap, a wave, a Python file, and then the right and the left icons. Let's see where else. There's the background in Anne's code. She has the background just be black, but I added an image, so you can modify that. And then down here is where you're like you're assigning like the file type to the file extension. So here's where it like is looking for these specific file extensions in the actual CircuitPython drive, which is super meta, right? And then just some little code here to handle the pagination, and you can modify all this as you want. And did a good job of commenting all the lines of code, so you can kind of get in there if you're new to it. And then she has a breakdown of all the stuff here, so you can take a look at all that. I did my best to modify it. I have some minor tweaks that I need to do if I want it to be like perfect. It's not perfect, but like because I wanted to have some special background here, I had to modify the coordinates for the touch events. So like sometimes the touch events don't work, but hey, that's all there for you to modify, right? So I did my part in modifying it. I also added a line of code to change the brightness of the actual display, which you can do. That's really helpful if you're trying to film the thing, because otherwise it's not at full brightness and it blows out your webcam. So right now I have it, I think, like at 0.2 or something, but you can drop it down pretty good. I'll avoid opening Moo because I have some other things open, but you can.
Oh yeah, I was like, why isn't this
add all that stuff.
Cura? I'm like, where are these M2 commands coming from, or M12, or
That's
M12?
funny.
So that's I'm glad you mentioned that, so we could say to people, why is my thing not working? Cura.
Cura. Yeah, it'll still take over your.
You'll see
your
it
serial.
in the serial. Yeah, you'll see it. Like M2 commands come in. You're like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
It's trying to communicate with a printer.
But it's a very cool, kind of meta project to showcase the actual files on here. I think Anne wrote some verbiage where, like, you could make it so that you tap on an actual document, it could open it and that sort of thing. Like that's a lot more code required, but
that would be awesome.
It's a fun little.
It's like a glorified thumb drive viewer.
For sure. Yeah.
Open it, like at least preview sounds and like the image. That would be pretty
I think you could do that because we have audio support. We have MP3 support in CircuitPython. So have at it. If folks really want to take this to the next level, they can do that. And you have a nice case to through 3D print. Going to need some supports, but in the Learn guide, I walk you through some of the support settings that I used. You definitely want to have a support interface to get something looking kind of decent. I actually, on a side note, I submitted these files, the CAD files, to PCBWay to have these printed in translucent resin. So maybe in a couple weeks, we'll see this in a translucent case because it'd be fun to see the PyPortal in there, right? I've seen some other folks use the PCBWay website to get their like Game Boys and keypads printed in this super nice translucent resin, and it kind of reminiscence of the 90s where everything was translucent, you know, all the electronics are translucent. It was super cool. So
I hope
I'd
it
like
comes
to
out
kind of
good.
bring that.
This is like another video we can do just looking at the prints, because we would send it way more. Like you said, the Game Boy, the Game Girl one, would send that in.
Sure, yeah.
Gut it and put it in that translucent case.
Yeah, we try to stay away from the resin printers because you need a proper station for it. The smell is a problem to us anyway, and we find it toxic, so we don't really want to play with it that much. But you're more than welcome to give it a shot if you want to print it on your resin printer. Definitely, the prices have come down and whatnot, but
yeah, I think it's $100.
Yeah, you'll have to DIY your own supports and all that, because I think you need to arrange it in the right way to get all the supports and stuff, right?
Successfully printed where it was just completely flat on the metal plate. The name was for it, not a bed plate. The head.
Yeah, sure.
Whatever. I mean, I did it, and whenever we had our I don't remember the name of it. It was
the Amber from
it
was from like 2013 is when we had it. Yeah, so there you go. All right, so the PyPortal, I think it's out of stock. That's not a surprise. Oh no, it's in stock. It is a surprise. It's still challenging to get, I think, chips from Microchip. This is the SAMD21, so I'm trying to.
That's why I was surprised that this.
Where I am.
Or I'll go forward with the.
The PyPortal's in stock. It's a pricey piece of kit because it's fully featured, but
a ton of stuff on there.
Yeah, but there you go. This is and we have 3 different sizes of it. The one we did for this project is the classic size, but there's the Titano, the Pint, and then the classic.
Pint. Yeah, I tried stuffing the Titano in there. I was like, "What is this not working?" Oh yeah, duh.
Oh really?
The wrong one.
That's funny. Yeah.
I even flashed it with the wrong firmware. I'm like,
oh, that's funny.
Whoops.
Yeah, it's just a different screen, but the main things are there. Yeah, and 8 megabytes of, it's a pretty expensive SPI flash chip, so that's why it's $55. But if you want to do something without having to solder a bunch of things together, this is a really good IoT dev board. A lot of the starter projects were like pulling information from like your social channels like YouTube or GitHub and displaying a number there. Weather stations is a very popular project as well. I think that was like the default project. We had this LCARS project that was really cool.
Oh yeah.
And like quotes, I think, was the default thing. Tons and tons of projects with the PyPortal.
So many.
Yeah, this is one of our favorite dev boards when it first came out a couple of years ago.
Yeah, so this is an excellent case for any one of these projects.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, totally.
It's like the somebody was mentioning the thickness. Good thing that it's thicker, so you won't accidentally put it in your floppy disk drive. But that thickness, it's where it has its own built-in stand.
Oh yeah, it stands up right. With some, maybe it stands up better like that. Yeah. Yeah. Upside down. You could change the and wanted it to be upside down, but this is the way I think you're supposed to do it, because look at the label. But to each their own. So
can't you
in
just
the code
flip?
Yes, but then your XY touch coordinates get all backwards. So that's just one of the caveats of having a global variable for the screen rotation. There's code that you can do it portrait mode as well, but then again your XY coordinates have to be special. So that's just what I'll throw it out there. But that's this week's project. Well, really last week's project. We're just highlighting it this week since we got a video out. Yeah. So print it out, print out the case, share it with us.
Yeah, let us know. I've seen lots of tweets about it. Let's start seeing all these builds and PRs coming in too.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Here's your version of it.
This one's just white. Like I said, I glued mine on thinking that's how it was supposed to be.
No, it's fine.
I was gonna say mine stands up pretty well. Maybe it's
mine falls over. I think the cable. Yeah, it's the cable from my end.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Being able to look back and actually see. That'd be so cool. I've not seen any floppies or any thumb drives that have a view of what's actually stored on. And then, yeah, being able to preview it with the sound and everything was so cool.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
Oops. Keep hitting this freaking mic.
All right. Well, if you want to get the Adafruit PyPortal, get 10% off using coupon code Floppy. Floppy. Making floppies. Man, I just dated myself. It's like a SNL skit or something. Making copies. Cool. All right. So are we ready for prototype?
Yeah.
I don't see any comments on YouTube. Let me check Discord.
Storage caddies, little slides.
Rotary encoder. Suggestion.
Oh yeah, I've been refreshing the Raspberry Pi page. We're out.
Yeah.
We got nothing.
Do copy that floppy. All right.
That's relevant still.
Floppies used to actually be floppy. Yeah, before the 3.7.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just a name that carried over. We got a history, a bit of history here. Yeah. Yep. Devin's loving the weather station projects. Yep, those are very useful.
Super useful.
Oh.
All right, cool. Let's go ahead and jump into this week's. What are we prototyping?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, cool. So continuing on with the Tron build, last week we were talking about what type of harness that I would use so this could stick onto your back, and I found one from, what is this company? What is that?
I'm not sure. All Remate.
Remate? Yeah, this is really cool. This would have been very handy when we're doing the Fairy Wings projects. We had to like rip apart like a cosplay like dragon wing or something to get the chest thing to have the wings attached to. I'd bring it out, but it's over there somewhere. But this is like runner's thingy, I guess, which is super cool. Like there's like all this pockets and storage. So if you don't want to wear a fanny pack, this is like next best thing. You can like store all your like it has like a pocket for your phone, your earphones, and all that stuff. But
very tactical.
Yeah. Most important part is that you have space to mount things on there. So the large mesh holes that we have on the back here is like so porous that you can you don't need a needle to thread in your like your thread, your wires to actually attach the plate that we're using.
So what, do you use screws and hex nuts?
No, it's just like fishing wire, nylon wire. So because like I was saying, you don't need a needle or anything.
Yeah, you can just tie it off.
Yeah, you just tie it right off. The little you can see it there where the little holes for that. There's like
two sew tabs.
Nice. Yeah, there you go, sew tabs, and then you see the 4 magnets on there on the back here, which are attached with. Take this off. We were having a problem every time we have to do like a magnet project. Like we'd always have to like press fit it in there really tight to make sure that it doesn't pop out, or we would have to glue it. And then it's like, oh no, I got the polarity wrong. And we got to rip apart the print or rip off the glue and all that. These just pop right off.
So good.
Take that off right there. And bam, there's your magnet. And that was the other problem too. We always have like, they're all different sizes. So the tolerances are always freaking different on these things. So they just snap right in like that. They press fit in. There's a little channel thing, so if you need to get it out, you can like wedge your little tool in there.
Oh, that's brilliant!
Yeah. So these are meant to be, taken off and put back in, because inevitably one of them are gonna be flipped or whatnot. I'm sure I just put it in wrong. So that's on the inside of the disc too. This guy. So all you do is obviously just lines up like that. And there you go. Bam. It is on there. That is so freaking cool. I went down to Magic Kingdom a couple nights ago. Got some cool shots over by the Light Cycle Run. And man, it is freaking awesome. So we're using the NRF52840 inside here so you can connect to your phone, change the colors on there. Of course, it's CircuitPython. You have access to your USB so you can kind of see it in there. We're using the USB breakout. So you can change the color, the code when it starts up, and of course, your waves. You have all your what do they call the hit sound effects, and then like animations, like based on how your the accelerometer on the prop maker feather wing on there is getting all that gyro info. Got your button on the side here, and so let me put this thing on. Let's see how cool this looks.
Slip it over.
Over. I just put it underneath like a Tron hoodie that we got. Let's see if I can do this without
Line up the
yeah. What I should have done is had like the polarity like switch around so that it only sticks on one side.
Almost.
My hand.
There you go. I know. It's like, can I scratch my back? Scratch my own back.
Yeah. But there
That's
goes.
funny.
Nice and tight. And it's freaking awesome.
I can hear it buzzing.
Dang well, the ones that Disney is going to release is not going to stick to your back.
They'll have like 3 LEDs because it's the lowest cost. You know, how can we get this to be a cent?
So I'm glad you brought that up. I am using low density. You can kind of see the separation on there. You can see the hot spots on there. I was going to add like the medium density one, but you know, at a point you're like, well, dang, that's going to affect my battery life and blah, blah, blah. The cost of it, like, it's like double the price, right, for getting that. So I wanted to keep that low.
Sure.
Fruit Connect is free on the App Store. My camera. Grab that. There's a CircuitPy. Bloom, connect to that. I think we showed this off last week, right?
Yeah.
Controller. I made a crash by trying to do the animations, and of course, the
orange
team.
Yay! There you go. Yeah, and folks could modify it. So if they wanted to pulsate, you could map one of the controller buttons on the app to do a different animation. But yeah, it's slowly fading right now.
That. Yeah, make a color that's never in Tron. Like have a green one.
Yeah. It looks much better in a dark area right now.
Oh, it looks better when you're right by the grid, right on Tron land. It looks way better.
Yeah.
But yeah,
if you want, you could show some hero shots that you got. But you'll have more hero shots this weekend, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, I'm writing it.
Obviously,
I won't clear this while I'm writing because the back plate when you get on the actual seat.
Oh, it actually goes on you, right?
That's that's not going to be comfortable.
You're right.
And then, so we'll have somebody down while I'm going up over that canopy part to, sort of track me down and then go down to the hero shot. That'd be super cool. And print. I think we already talked about this. We're doing the filament swap thing. So it starts off at the translucent white filament, just swap it out to the black, and then swap it back to the white. And, we're using these nylon. The construction of this is really cool. We're using the M2. I think they're like 8 millimeter long nylon screws.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
As you can see, I'm just popping them off because the threading for this would have been too small to print.
Right.
And then because they're nylon, they're going to get bent anyway, putting that in there. But
true.
Let's go ahead and take a look on the inside of how this guy is built. You can see the prop maker feather wing, NRF52840, the little speaker on there, and the way that all of the wires are routed. So for the LEDs, we're using the side lit LEDs. Side lit meaning that they point straight up, and then regular LEDs that are pointing straight out. So vertically and then horizontal. You got to see it there.
Yeah.
And then again, the spacing for where the magnets are, sort of space them out away from sort of where the components weren't in the way. You can see the breakout here. You're gonna have to make your own breakout cable because we can't find one that's like small and thin enough. So we're using our silicone ribbon cable. That's just routing it out over to here because, rotating that board, you're going to make it that much thicker and all that. And
Oh yeah.
Prop Maker Feather Wing has a nice JSP PH 3-pin to connect into their NeoPixel rings, using the double-sided foamy tape to hold everything together. So you have like some nice padding. The only thing that's rattling around there are the magnets that I think I need to make like a Ninja Flex little patty thing to to prevent them from shaking around. But other than that, everything is nice, and you can fling this around. Battery holder for the 2200 LiPo battery, and then of course this light switch just fits in right here, and that is the inside. Pretty cool.
Yeah, man. It should fit on the bed of the Creality Ender printer. I checked on our printer because here I have the Ender 3, and it just fits. So
the latest one, right?
Oh yeah, the latest one fits. So it's all within the dimensions to fit on your most common Creality printer, which is the Ender. So yeah, good. I know, me too. I was like, I wonder if I could print this here. Yeah,
there it is. And then construction is super easy. So if ever there's like, you're on the convention floor, a cosplay or something like that, you can easily get in there and, sort of re-add these if you line them up properly. But yeah, that is the on disk. We'll release this next week. Super happy with this. Don't have a lot of detail. I know there's supposed to be like some
you could do some vinyl something if you wanted to add some traces or whatever.
You know what I mean? After being sick for almost 2 weeks, I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
So I'm get this out. I need to start filming the part shots and all that cool stuff. I already got a bunch of the heroes, so yeah, to be ready to release. Hopefully, I don't think there's a new Tron movie, right? But I don't know if you
I don't think so.
You're on Tomorrowland and you want to get some other photo ops that doesn't include, the disc that they have there for you to take photos with. You can bring your own and be like, no, I got it. Just get my goods with them. But yeah, that is the Tron disc. So cool. Dang it, I didn't remember to charge our iPad to show off. This is not the first Tron project we've worked on. Remember that Tron video game we worked on?
Yeah. Wonder if it still runs. Probably not.
So on the old iPad.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, we have all our old apps. And man, that's one thing I'm going to hit on for working on, at Adafruit doing 3D projects. Our stuff will still work. 10
after years.
We have the physical thing. All these video games and stuff that we worked on.
Well, what's cool is you could take that.
You
can take the assets and 3D print them. That's another thing. You can take the 3D model. Print it still.
Oh, check out this cool video game we worked on.
Yeah. Do you still have a model of that?
It doesn't run on iOS 2.
iOS 6. I was gonna say do you still have the 3D print of your model that you did in the game?
That away. Yeah, I should reprint it.
All right. Yeah, reprint it. Do a time lapse of it. That'd be great. All right. Well, very cool. Looking forward to it for next week. So everybody stay tuned for that. I got something this week. Let's switch gears here. So last week I showed off my 3D printed keycaps. These are hexagon shaped keycaps for the Choc mechanical key switches. Showed you the case, and this over the weekend I wired it up to a Py RP2040 board. So I instead of having a PCB, so this is going to be a different project with John Park, where he designed a PCB for these Choc switches in a hexagonal format, just like this, and he's going to have NeoPixels in it as well. I wanted to take a simple approach and kind of make it so that I can make this into a MIDI controller. So I have this connected over USB, and it's a USB MIDI controller. I use the demo code from Liz Clark's MIDI for Makers guide, and these just play MIDI notes. So each one is mapped to a different MIDI note, and it's completely, polyphonic. So you can press all of them at the same time. Let me see if I can make this bigger. Let me remove you for a second. There we go. Yeah, so I just wired it up basically. All the grounds are shared, and so I have one ground connection coming into the QT Py, and then I'm using a ribbon cable to wire up the other pins to individual pins on the QT Py. The code is really simple. It's literally just the same code from the MIDI maker guide. Let me see if I can load it in the background here. Just type in MIDI for makers. And of course, it's done in CircuitPython, because CircuitPython has a great MIDI library. And let me see if I can show this here. Liz did a great job of having a lot of example code. So under Let's Build, there's a basic MIDI keyboard. And this shows you how to wire up buttons. It doesn't matter what kind of button, as long as it's a momentary button switch. You can make your own MIDI controller. Here's the code, the MIDI notes. It's using the numbers. You can pull up a MIDI chart and figure out what note you want to have in your arrangement. But all they did was just added extra pins. I use some of the odd pins like Miso and Mosi. But yeah, everything else is pretty straightforward. I think you just need to change 4 in range. You want to change that to 7 because you have 7 buttons, and you just want to add more of these key presses here. But yeah, it just uses the USB MIDI library, digital I/O, no on, no off. You can tell what MIDI port you want, what MIDI channel rather. And I think the velocity is over here. So you can change that to 127 down to 0 if you want to change the velocity note. So very, very basic MIDI controller. And I have it. I have a Logic Pro in the background on my workstation here, my iMac. So that's what I'm using. And that's pretty much it, really. I'll see about making a learn guide for this. So I'll ask Lamar if it makes sense to add it in the learn guide so I can document it. Right now, we don't have plans for that, but it's more of like a side personal project. But the main project is going to be JP's custom PCB with NeoPixels. And yeah, so.
Very cool.
So that's my MIDI keypad. If you want to get the QT Py RP2040 and the Choc Switches, they are in stock. I'm using the red Choc Switches because the white Choc Switches have this clicky sound. And if you're doing a MIDI controller, you probably don't want the clicky sound. So they're silent, which I like. And of course, everything is 3D printed, including the keycaps, the front and the bottom enclosure bits are all 3D printed. You just have 2 screws here. The QT Py snap fits into the built-in holder. I could take it apart here and show how the wiring is set up. Pretty simple. I really like silicone ribbon cables because it keeps all of the digital signals wires nice and bundled together. And then you can peel it apart like string cheese. And then here are the pins. I'm using all the analog pins, the Miso pin, and then over here, 0 clock and some other pins here. So there's enough pins here for 2 more buttons, three more buttons. You could also use the I2C pins here out of the stemma port. Those are different pins. So you could do a good amount of pins here for your MIDI controller. And then, yeah. I'd like it to be thinner, but as you can see, because of the wiring and stuff, you kind of want to have a good amount of clearance for your cables and your pins. But it all snap fits together. No need for any glue, so it all kind of comes apart.
Nice.
And it's USB-C, so that's really nice. And yeah, I guess you could add NeoPixels somehow if you want. There's room in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yay.
PCB JP's making will have the reverse mount LEDs on there, so that should be
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so it'll be a nice kind of like kit. Maybe we'll stock it in the store too and manufacture it or something. That could be cool.
nice.
But yeah, that is what I'm working on as a prototype. Let's see if anyone has any comments about it.
TJ Devin loves the polyphony.
Yeah, right. It just kind of works out of the box. Just real nice. Cool. Howard is digging it.
Yep. Awesome. All right. Let's go ahead and dedicate the last bit of the show to all the community makes. We have so many, we have to split them up between different weeks.
This is true. All right. First up, you want to run the Timelapse Tuesday, and I'll queue up my tabs.
Yeah. Where am I? I'm in full screen mode, so all of my controls are gone.
Oh no. Well, I have the Thingiverse page loaded for this week's Timelapse Tuesday. It's a articulated Ammonite. It has a shell, a head, and tentacles. It's flexible print and place design.
There you go. All right, so yeah, this is really cool. Ammonite, or what's the Pokemon name? Ozma, right? Somebody help me out here. Who's a Pokemon master?
I'm not sure. Sorry.
Osmar? I don't know. Gavin was showing me. I'm like, oh, I got to remember this name.
That's hilarious.
Obviously, these are extinct, dead. All we have are fossils, so who knows if this is what they look like. I mean, like the fleshy parts. We have these.
The fleshy parts?
Yeah, so we have the rainbow filament. Didn't do a really good job of showing the transitioning colors. You can kind of see it turning to like a blue here. The one I used in the video, of course, kid already took that one, so I had to reprint it. But this is a really good print in place.
Nice.
What is it called? The style
hinges.
of the hinges, yes. It's like a little ball socket that is held together on the walls. And this came out very good. I only printed it twice. Even with the time lapse, there was very minimal stringing. And this just snaps in. I would snap it out, but I'm scared I will break it. Will I break it? Yeah, I'll probably break. This little part just snaps into the rest of the shell. And these print separately. The shell is going to need like a bunch of support material, so that's the only bad part. Prints, I think, like that. And the body does not, but yeah, this is a cool little, again, like a little fidget toy or just cool desk decoration. If you get your colors all nice with the rainbow filament, it looks super cool. And that is this week's community make. Nice little Ammonite. He's swimming. I really like the way he has a little wavy motion there.
Cool. I'm getting the tabs here, so.
And that's this week's community make. Oh, you're getting the.
Yep, I'm getting the tabs. There's 10 of them, so I got 2 one by one.
Oh.
Almost done, folks. And this is the last one. All right, so, all right, I'm ready here. All right, so this is the design on Thingiverse for the Ammonite. Go ahead and check that out. It's a free download. And
there's a couple different shells.
Oh yeah, look at that. There are different shells. Very cool. Which one did you print? This the one with the spikes?
Not the one with the horns. No, I thought it would like pop, fall right out.
Yeah, not good for the kids too. They'll break this off easily. Yeah. But anyway, the designer is Nebetbastet on there. So check him out. Very cool. All right, let's run through the slew of community makes. First up, we have the Raspberry Pi Zero stand that was posted up by PBR Designs. They made our Pi Zero stand, and they got their e-ink display. Looks like it's a weather station. Very cool. Looking good. Glad to see folks printing that still. Next up, we have the Audit the Owl. This is a very fun owl that prints in place, has a twisty head, and unique Solitary One posted it up in this very nice silk blue, silver silk blue color. Looks very nice. If you want to print your own owl, check it out. We have it on printables. Moving on to a prop. This was a very fun prop maker project. We called it a Keyblade. It's kind of like I forget what game, but it's one of those games. If you remember the game, you know which game it is. But we kind of made it into this cool Keyblade looking design. So 3 Dave posted up their make. It says, I like it so much, not hard to print, only needs time. Very cool. And this glows, has sound effects, uses the prop maker, accelerometer, and all that stuff. And it looks really great. Yeah. Next up, we have these AirPod Max headbands printed in flexible TPU. Nice. Killa Co. posted up their make. They printed the kitty ears in white. Looks nice. Very cute. Yeah. Yeah. So if you got some TPU filament, you can print out your own custom bands. We did like a Lego unicorn horn, some other stuff. I can't remember. Oh yeah, devil horns. And I think the Blinka logo. All fun things. But I really like the cat, white cat.
Oh, it's really good.
All right. Yeah, all right. Next up, we have another prop maker project from the Disney Plus TV show Loki. This is the TVA time stick, the time baton. Jigsaw HC posted up their make of this lovely prop. This is one of those props you can print in different filament colors, and you could finish it if you'd like, but you don't have to if you use the right colors. Same thing, sound effects, motion controlled as well with the prop maker Feather Wing. Okay, next up we have a make of our Neo Trellis sound box or soundboard. It also uses the prop maker Feather Wing because it uses the accelerometer to randomize the sound effects. It's not a MIDI controller. It has built-in wave files that you can assign to the buttons here on the rubber elastomers. So printables.com user frames says that's their first Adafruit project, and it was awesome. Printed in Polymaker's carbon fiber nylon. Oh, nice. So there's a real nice look of it. It's got a button on there, a switch, a reset button, and of course the rubber elastomers 4x4. They're neopixels, so you can assign each wave sound effect a different color. Very fun. Next up, we got another TVA time stick from the TV show Loki. You know, season 2 is coming, right? For Loki.
Didn't it get delayed, or did I read something that is?
I don't know. Don't tell me it got delayed. Maybe it did get delayed. I'm not sure. This looks like it got finished a little bit. It looks like it's sanded a little bit here to make it look more metallic. They said this was posted up by Thingiverse user KY Dog. And they said it worked out great. Printed the diffuser in clear PLA 1 by 1 because otherwise they kept falling. Yes, that's a good tip. The rest of the parts are fit on a single build plate. Printed in Overture Black Plus. PLA Black Plus. Looking good. All right, we have 2 more to go through here. Another owl. This is posted up by Duncan Mac. Very nice print. Running a few different sizes for the guest box. Here it is in this gold filament and I guess a kind of tan color. Pretty good. And then the last one is the posted up by Sir Wash. Excellent design. Had a lot of spare parts for this, and it was fairly cheap for me to build. This is our heat set insert rig. This is a tool that you could use to help you do a lot of heat set inserts. So it uses a piece of 2020 and some roller ball bearings to make a nice slide for your soldering iron. You can use a heat insert tip for your soldering iron and secure it to the arm there and just kind of press it down. A lot of folks have been making this project, and it's always great to see folks still continue to make the project.
Yeah, I was going to say, we have something We have one every week.
Yeah, just about. And that is all the community makes. Thank you, everybody, for sending your makes.
This looks so good.
Yeah. Takes time to upload them to the various socials and repost sites. So appreciate when folks do that. And we like to highlight it on the show.
Very awesome.
All right. Before we close out the show, don't forget discount code for the Adafruit shop is Floppy to celebrate the floppy disk that is no longer floppy. It's apparently hard. It doesn't flop. What if I printed a Ninja Flex? Then it would be kind of be floppy.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that because it needs supports. You could print TPU with supports. We've done it before.
Yeah, it should work.
All right. Last minute comments on the Discord. Some from DJ Devin. Still working on their full-size Gmail box remix. Ooh, a full-size one. Yeah, it's going to take a couple weeks. Sure, that's cool. We'll be here to share it when you have some stuff to share. And yeah, very cool, very cool. Yeah, signable WAV files. So if you're trying
stocks, no Raspberry Pis. They're all
they're all gone. We're sorry. Yeah, keep your eye out every Wednesday for a new stock of pies.
Then later on tonight, a host of new products should be released. Looks like a couple of them are in here. So stay tuned for that.
Yep, we have show and tell tonight as well, hosted by Liz Clark. She'll be hosting tonight, so if you want to come on by, hang out in the Discord chat at 7:20-ish. She'll post the link around that time, and then folks will be able to come in and share their projects. We hope to see you there. Yeah, I think that's going to do it for this one. We'll also have a coupon code on Ask an Engineer, which starts tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So click away. Get ready to fill your carts with stuff. Support the channel, support the company, and all the lovely people that work for Adafruit.
Hey.
Thanks everybody for hanging out in the Discord chat room and watching on the archive. We appreciate everybody hanging out with us.
All right. Well, all that said, don't forget to make a great day.
Bye, folks.
Bye-bye.